What's up, my Shadow Knights? How are you doing? And this little video is about basically facts about me involving Scooby-Doo. So you get to know about me with Scooby-Doo. So, let's start with my favorite character is Scooby-Doo. And not just because it's the main character, he's the dog or anything, but Scooby always reminded me also of, in aspects, my dog. Because, I mean, like, come on. Shaggy and Scooby shared their food half the time and ate together. I used to do the same thing with my dog, Gage. So, I mean, like, there's more to it than just because it's Scooby-Doo. I also just really relate towards canine-based characters no matter what. And I love Scooby-Doo. Let's see. Favorite one of the... Okay, my favorite member in the gang besides Scooby or Shaggy would probably be Velma. I've always thought Velma was awesome. Plus, with her being brainy, and in my opinion, I felt like she was at times, you know, had her moments where she was the underdog or something. Because at first, I'm pretty sure not everybody cared for her. And then when Jinkies and everything happened, you know. Plus, Jinkies is pretty catchy. But I always loved Velma. I always thought she was one of the coolest characters besides Scooby and Shaggy. Oh, wait! My thoughts on Fred having an ascot. I don't know what the fuck an ascot is, to be honest, but I feel Fred could do with or without it. I mean, like, I like it because it's basically the signature to the character. So, I always thought it was cool. Do I think Shaggy and Scooby are stoners is a good one. To be honest, I think the whole gang smokes. I'm not kidding. Like, in aspects, I feel like they're all their own stereotypical format of a stoner. One has a best friend who's a dog and they get the munchies. Another, they come up with great plans. Another one ends up, although she's clumsy, she becomes a fucking genius. And the other one's just all about, like, her wardrobe, and she's pretty smart when she needs to be, and she's helpful, I guess. I don't know. Do I like Scrappy? Yes, I do, actually. Scrappy's pretty fucking chill. I always thought Scrappy-Doo was cool. But my favorite will eternally be Scooby-Doo. My favorite episode would have to be... Probably when they introduced the Addams Family crossover, honestly, because I always liked that. I always thought that was, like, the coolest episode ever. Excuse me. Sorry. If I could add a crossover for Scooby-Doo, besides the ones that they've already done, I'd put Beetlejuice. I think Beetlejuice meeting Scooby-Doo would be a pretty cool and pretty interesting kind of episode. My favorite movie, to be honest, is very hard to pick, but when it comes to the older movies, like the older ones, I'd probably have to go with, yeah, I would go with the Scooby-Doo, I'm trying to remember the full title. It's the one where they have the Hex girls in it. I know that. It's something with the witch. I can't remember the title, oddly enough, and I'm a huge Scooby fan. It's my favorite movie. My mind's drawing a blank, though, because I'm slightly getting tired. Another one of my favorite movies is The Cyber Chase. There's a lot of memories behind it, and a lot of it has to do with my mom, because we used to play the Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase video game as well. So I always thought it was freaking awesome. Plus, it's really, honestly, I think it's really cool. One of my favorite crossovers besides the Addams Family would be probably when they introduce, I think if I stand corrected, they're called the Booze Brothers or something. They're all ghosts, basically. And I always liked that. I think that was one of the first ones I saw, honestly, when I was a kid. I love the Scooby-Doo live action movies. My favorite one is The Spooky Island, where Scrappy's basically a bad guy. Do I know all the characters when it comes to the dogs? I don't know if I know every character, but I do know there's Scooby-Doo, Scrappy-Doo, Scooby-Dum, and Scooby-Dee. And then Scooby has his parents. And that's all I know that I can think of on the top of my head. Favorite unmasked ghost, ghoul, monster, whatever that they have had to unmask would probably have to be I'd say my favorite one's a toss up between the Creeper, the Black Knight, and I forget the character what they named him, but he was in an airport. It was he looked like an astronaut with a skeleton face, and he'd make a funny laugh and sound. So he was another one I liked. But I always liked those. So another thing I always liked of Scooby-Doo was that they didn't always have Shaggy with a green shirt. I actually prefer him in a green or a red. But I liked him when he was in a red shirt because the first time I saw him in a red shirt was a Halloween. Like, it was only Scooby, Shaggy, and I think Velma or Daphne. It was one of the two was in it. And actually, I think it was a different girl because Shaggy gets turned into a werewolf in the I believe it was a movie. And you get to meet, like, the kids of, like, Dracula, Frankenstein, and everything, I believe, in another one that I like. I always liked a lot of Scooby-Doo stuff. I love Scooby Snacks. Another thing I like is the graham crackers. That are, my favorite one's probably the cinnamon ones, honestly. Because all you have to do is... Well, actually, I like them both equally because I like to mix up. Like, I'll take a handful of each, throw them in, slightly mix them up in the bowl. That way, when I grab one, I don't know what I'm grabbing. I'm just going to enjoy it no matter what. When I used to eat Scooby-Doo fruit snacks, my favorite fruit snack was the Mystery Machine. That was my favorite one. Trying to think of more stuff. If you're wondering why I'm thinking and then acting as if I'm answering questions, it's because I'm remembering things that I've been asked. and either have or have not answered in the past. So I'm coming up with questions I can remember I've been asked. Involving Scooby-Doo, oddly enough. I was in the Scooby-Doo Mystery Club. I believe that's how it went. Mystery Inc. Club, something about that. When I was a kid, my mom signed me up. Sadly, I never finished. I was almost done with it, too, because the last thing they give you is they'll give you a small Scooby-Doo plush and a book, and then after that, they give you a huge one. Like, it's not life-size, I don't think. It might be. And then they give you a couple other things with it, and then there's like 2-3 books with it as well. But I was in the Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. book club kind of thing. But I never got to finish, but I wish I would have, because I fucking loved that. That was like one of my favorite things when doing something as a child. That was like my favorite ever. And I would get these cool things. I had a magnifying glass. I had like stickers. I had a ton of the books. I had a lot. I miss them too. I don't have them no more, oddly enough. I gave them actually away, a couple of the books, not all of them. The rest I lost in storage, sadly, in a storage unit. We didn't have the money to afford it, and all the stuff went poof, because they can do that, sadly. However, when I gave the books that I did give away, there was someone else who was in it, and they completed it all, but they lost a couple of their books when, like, I think it was their basement flooded or something, and a couple books didn't make it. So I had all of the books they needed. It was only like 6 or 7 of their books. It might have been 4 or 5 for all I can remember. It's hard to remember, but it was more than 3. I ended up giving them, and I was like, yeah, I never got to finish, and you did, so, I'd rather you have the whole set. Let's see. My least favorite episode. I'm gonna have to say my least favorite episode would probably be none. I love all of the episodes. I mean, like, I can't really think of me ever not liking an episode of Scooby-Doo. I don't think I ever did dislike any. I was big into Scooby-Doo. I would wake up before school, have a bowl of cereal, and watch Scooby-Doo. Honestly, as I got a little older, I think it was when I was about, I won't lie, I was in high school probably when I started doing this too. I want to say I was in 9th grade when I started. But, I used to make my own cereal out of Scooby Snack graham crackers. Technically, what I would do is I'd mix it with another cereal sometimes. I usually chose Honey Nut Cheerios for it because it just worked with it. Because I usually ended up having the cinnamon ones more than the honey. And when you mix the Honey Nut Cheerios with it, it just really works. Cinnamon, Scooby Snacks, graham crackers with the Honey Nut Cheerios. Good mix. With cashew milk. I can't think of anything else at the moment. But I hope you enjoyed this. I figured I'd give you something kind of like a about me video. So I hope you liked it. Fist bomb a llama, moments high, and remember, Scooby-Doo is always gonna be in your heart.